An unexpected fan favorite from the world-renowned anime Naruto, Rock Lee was quickly taken a liking to by the masses for his unique odd character design and contagious determination and optimism. With Kishimoto's release of him, Rock had a massive impact on the anime scene, which even to this day, influence of Lee can be seen scattered all over anime characters nearly 2 decades later. Having one of the most iconic fights in anime history under his belt, and being one of the show's most favored characters, it's crystal clear that Lee is much more than a filler side character, and part of this reason is the early attachment the viewer got from seeing Lee go through his trials and tribulations, attempting to push forward and surpass multiple obstacles that were thrown his way early on. But he always had this unwavering sense of hope and resolve to push him through, right? I'm sure we're all aware of the positive, unbearing work ethic side of Lee that he's most notable for, but what if there was a darker side to the joyous and excited character we all know? What if you were to dig a little bit deeper, you would unravel the true depressing reality of Rock Lee? Rock was born into the Lee clan with no word being told about his family or descendants, and it wasn't long until Lee would face his first hurdle, figuring out at a young age he was incapable of utilizing the techniques of ninjutsu or genjutsu, which resulted in him receiving his fair share of bullying by his peers. However, this doesn't break Lee's spirit one bit, making him even more motivated to train and become a master in the only technique left he had to choose from, taijutsu. With the help and courage Might Guy gives Lee after seeing a younger version of himself in the kid, the ninja who couldn't learn ninjutsu was well on his way to becoming a worthy shinobi. He was able to pass the graduation exam due to Guy putting in a good word for him to become a genin, and was assigned to his master's team in addition with his lifelong rival, Neji Hyuga. From the first day the two came into contact with each other, there was already a clear tension in the air which would maintain to be a trend for the majority of the rest of the first installment of Naruto. Neji was the impersonation of what Lee wanted to overcome, a natural genius versus a hard worker. Lee would constantly try over and over again to defeat Neji throughout their time training together, but could never succeed, bringing him to the point of serious self-doubt if he would ever be good enough at all.
I used to believe that if I just trained harder than Neji, 2 or 3 times harder, I would make myself strong enough. But now, I am not so sure. I do not know if I will ever be able to work hard enough to beat real talent. I do not know if I can take it. Sometimes it seems like the whole thing is pointless. Like I am a loser and I will always be a loser.
As hard as it is to watch, what is seemingly a never giving up source of infinite hope in Lee, we see him break down this heavy so early into his life as a ninja, but in hindsight, these are the exact moments and obstacles that make a splendid ninja, in the words of the man himself. As much pain Neji caused Lee internally and externally, he understood this was a necessary step to prove his worth to not only himself, but to the man who he admires the most. Once the tuning exams roll around, Lee gets his first sense of gratification and reassurance to prove to himself he hasn't just been wasting his time, when he challenges the natural genius from the Uchiha clan, Sasuke. Rock doesn't mess around at all, taking this encounter very seriously as this is the moment he's been longing for, as he rushes Sasuke at speeds that even the two-tomate Sharingan couldn't even keep up with, striking him multiple times until he releases his final blow, the front lotus. However, Guy quickly steps in before Lee finishes off Sasuke, as we all know, but nonetheless, this was a clear victory for him. This was the moment that Lee had been waiting for. All of that time training endlessly to prove his ninja way has finally paid off. But Lee doesn't seem to be satisfied one bit from this victory, even though he accomplished his ninja way. A dropout will beat a genius through hard work, which is exactly what he did. He acknowledges Sasuke as a clear genius, but only looks at this as a stepping stone to defeat Neji. He advances through the tuning exams successfully until the preliminaries roll around, where the famous battle that we all know took place, which is a cornerstone when showing Lee's character. He is faced up against Gaara from the sand, the untouchable shinobi who symbolizes the natural genius to a whole nother level than the performance Sasuke was able to give Lee. Gaara is feared by everyone, even his own village, to the point where he couldn't even be executed when the sand attempted to do so. This is the deciding match to either crush or fulfill Lee's ninja way, making one of the greatest fights in anime history. Despite all his efforts, all the training, all of the sleepless nights, Lee just couldn't overcome the natural genius in Gaara. But wait, what exactly does this mean though? In result of this battle, Lee is told that his life as a shinobi is more than likely coming to an end, which puts Lee into a whole nother state of sadness and dissatisfaction. Even though he has already become a splendid ninja, even acknowledged by the man he looks up to the most, he still seems dissatisfied with the results. Why? If Lee truly lived by his ninja way, he was an obvious, clear-cut definition of a success. Even to be put in the same arena as natural genius households such as the Uchiha and Hyuga clan would be more than enough to satisfy Lee's apparent ninja way. So what exactly is his goal? Still to beat Neji? Still to overcome the gifted geniuses of the world, right? Even though he has been recognized as well over a splendid ninja, he stays unsatisfied for this reason alone, to prove hard work beats talent. In the aftermath of the Gaara fight, Lee spends day after day still attempting to train while still being severely injured. He's struggling with the reality that he may never be able to fight as a shinobi ever again, and attending the Chunin exams just adds on to this downward spiral we see Lee go down. Watching from the stands as he notices the drastic progress Sasuke has made while he was tied to a hospital bed, in just 1 month, Sasuke was able to nearly replicate Lee's speed, which took him years to attain, and the only thing he could do is put on a fake mask hiding his true emotions, and give Sasuke his credit for being a true genius. Lee is falling behind amongst his peers, which just a couple months ago was able to best in a match. He's coming to the realization that he is nowhere near as strong enough as he needs to be to achieve his goals. Very similar to another character we've been talking about. Sasuke faces this same issue with Naruto after seeing the progress he's made. He convinces himself he will never be able to defeat his target Itachi. But what's the main difference between Rock Lee and Sasuke Uchiha? Sasuke will do anything and everything to get stronger, even if it comes to abandoning everything he knows and loves. But on the other hand, we never get a full look into why Lee doesn't go down this same path. Why? Lee is supposed to be the embodiment of hard work and doing everything you can to succeed, so there's gotta be a reason he didn't go down the same road as Sasuke. The easy answer would be that due to the attention being sidetracked from Lee's progression as a character, we never really get to see the full side of it. But he clearly wears his envy on his sleeve during the Chunin exams watching Sasuke versus Gaara. So what did all of those emotions amount to if he didn't seek out stronger, darker power like Sasuke? Something broke him. Did Lee come to the depressing realization that he could never top natural talent with just pure hard work? And is the smiling face of joy we always see just a mask for something he's hiding deeper inside? The truth is, his ninja way is lost and has been gone for quite some time now. So what still motivates him to keep on fighting as a shinobi? I know what you're all probably wondering. The obvious answer is just lack of writing and not enough attention to detail of the character. But what if, just as Mike Guy said,
"You and I are too alike. We cannot survive without our ninja way to guide us."
What if he meant that metaphorically, that Lee's spirit would die, and that's why he basically flatlines in growing as a ninja for the rest of his life? Kishimoto even says that he designed Lee's character to symbolize human weakness. So next time you see the happy-go-lucky Rock Lee, always with that contagious smile and positive attitude, just know it's all a mask of the deeper realization he came to, that he will never reach his goals as a shinobi.